that, huh?
I can hear something in that. You need to.
I'm shocked that I had never heard of this guy. I watched that video the first time and I ugly cried.
What do you think about that, huh?
It's got my wheels turning and
What do you think about that, huh?
That's the Jesus that Mormons believe in. Dallas Jenkins. Is that the Jesus that you presented in this TV series?
What do you think about that, huh?
Phenomenal album, Irons in the Fire, Zeta Blacksmith.
What do you think about that, huh?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unsolicited, episode 45. I'm your host, Norm, the Master's Dog Dunham, a.k.a. the Evangelical Norm. So Unsolicited is just that. It is my unsolicited opinion on all kinds of things as far as the world of entertainment, looking at it from a Christian worldview. So movies, music, books, videos, you name it, we'll take a look at it here. Mostly Christian hip-hop is kind of my wheelhouse. And so that's going to be the nuts and bolts of the podcast, is really album reviews of new Christian hip-hop music that's coming out. That's kind of where I lay my foundation. And then building upon that, reviewing Christian movies, other Christian videos and stuff like that, Christian books. And then once in a while, I will respond to the occasional secular video or music or musician, things that are coming up in the culture that are something that you really can't ignore. I've done reviews of Childish Gambino's This Is America, Lucas Joyner's The Devil's Work, most recently Tom McDonald's Fake Woke. So once in a while, when those things come up, those videos where culture is intersecting with the Christian worldview, where we kind of need to take a look at it, I'll take a look at those things. So, but for the most part, again, a lot of what I'm going to do is what we're going to do today, and it is taking a look at music coming up in the world of Christian hip-hop, the newly released music and stuff like that. So my disclaimer, I have a very small population of people that I draw from as far as the music that I like. So you'll notice that we deal with a lot of the same guys or the same production companies and so on. If there are people that you want me to take a look at, I'm always open for requests. So if there's an album that's come out that you notice that I haven't mentioned or listened to or anything like that, shoot it to me. Throw something down in the comments. You can hit me over on Twitter at Evangelical Norm or the Master's Dog. Facebook, Norm Dunham. You can find me in the Reform Bars group or Cross-Examine, Wrath and Grace Radio, any of those places, and give me suggestions. If there's an album you'd like me to take a look at, I'm more than willing to look it up and listen and give my opinion on it. I've had a lot of guys who, I've got one coming up in the next couple of days where one of the guys that I know asked me, hey, take a look at this video and do a response. So I haven't watched the video. It's going to be a raw first-time reaction video to that as well. So I'm always looking for, suggestions on stuff to do. I reviewed a Billie Eilish or whatever that girl's name is because my wife asked me to. So those are things that I'm willing to do, but again, there's a foundation, which is my guys and my favorites, Christian hip-hop. And actually, I've got coming up, hopefully in March, we'll begin my top 25 countdowns of my favorite Christian artists, my favorite Christian albums, and I'm likely going to do like a top 20 of my favorite Christian movies. So those are all going to be things that are coming up in March. you can look forward to that, and hopefully that'll be something that'll help some guys out to find maybe people that they've never really heard of and get some new ammunition for their their music listening. Yeah, that was a really bad analogy, but okay, we're going to carry on. So today we are going to take a look at, album came out on, I believe, the 5th of February, so it's been out just a little over, or not quite 2 weeks. Friday will be 2 weeks that it's been out, and it is by our man, the Apologist, Will Mendoza, and Curt Kennedy. A collaboration album between the two of them. All the beats are the Apologist, and all the bars are Curt's. And so we're going to take a look at that. That is an album called The Drawing Board. It is it's an EP. There are 8 tracks on here, and then the instrumentals, the beats for all those tracks. So it's a 16 track album. I can't talk at the moment. I apologize. Not good for the guy who's doing podcasts to not be able to talk. And it's not exactly what we're used to hearing from Curt. I mean, the last couple of years, the stuff that Curt's put out, Reporting Live, C4, The Appendix, Philosophy, has all been dealing with some really deep political, socio-cultural topics. Racism, slavery, civil rights, homosexuality, abuse, all these things that are there, that he's dealt with in these albums, and huge albums. I mean, 30 songs, and the Appendix have 30, like a ton of songs is what we've really come to be used to from what Curt Kennedy has released over the last little while. This is just really, he's even said that it's more along the lines of what he was doing years ago as The Voice. This is just and I hate to say it because it's not like it's typical. This is really good Christian hip-hop, a lot of theology involved in here, what we would call lyrical theology, just over some amazing boom bap beats that Will Mendoza, the Apologist, has put together. And this is a really fun album. This is an album that, it's not one that you've got to go, okay, I almost want to take notes when I'm listening to this. This is just, it's straight to the point. It's gospel centered, God glorifying, elevating Jesus, and it's fun. It really is. There are some beats on here and some songs on here that I'm just waiting for summer. So, we're in the middle of this huge winter storm that's hit everybody, and I just want to go out and roll down the windows in my truck and play this at really high volume and potentially get pulled over and get a ticket. That's how much I like this album. So I'm going to play a couple of clips for you on here. A couple of my favorite songs. Of course, there's The GOAT, Greater Than. Greater Than has already been released as a single. There's a video out that's just kind of, the pictures and stuff that goes along with it, but you can check the song out. It's on YouTube. And you can check out that video for Greater Than. But probably my favorite song on the album is, and this is the one that I really just want to go out and play at very high volume as I cruise through the neighborhood, and that is The Most High. So we're going to play a little clip of this for you. This is The Most High from Apologist and Curt Kennedy.
This is Apologist, Curt Kennedy. I lounge with the lyricists, boasting how really is. Even when they shut me up, the spirits of ventriloquist. Sovereign he really is. Stop him, nobody did no cough, and he came back and scoffed him. He really lives. Options he really gives. Morpheus and Neo, but something ain't right. Me and the Speedo, the Beatles with heroin needles. Sometimes life offers no sequels. Coronavirus got me re-examining prequels of my lifetime. I never ran from a fight except for those who like to fight crime. Prison time, not mine. There's wild stuff coming. COVID, it took my man's cousin. Then you got people believing they can't touch them. They most high, thinking they most fly. They bugging, it came from bats. Who's down the Louisville slug 'em? But nah, godliness lacks this. And AI, take that serious, even when talking about practice. Most try, but they'll never be the most high. Even if they smoke good, we know they most die. When they say they God, we know they most lie. Why? Cause Jesus Christ is the most high. Most try, but they'll never be the most high. Even if they smoke good, we know they most die. When they say they God, we know they most lie. Why? Cause Jesus Christ is the most high. Back when Channel I was sparking madism, I was in between schisms, fighting that inner wisdom. I knew the Lord was calling, but I was looking at him like the last dude you choose on your team when you street balling. A product of the fall, like long sleeves and autumn is...
All right, so there is just a little bit of the Most High, just a little taste of really likely my favorite song on this album. The Most High, Curt Kennedy, The Apologist, The Drawing Board. That is where you can find it. You can get over on Bandcamp. If you look up The Apologist x Curt Kennedy.bandcamp.com, that's where you can find it on Bandcamp. You can get it on Amazon or wherever you buy your music. And again, I'm encouraging you to go buy it. Don't just stream it. These guys don't make nearly as much money as they should off of streaming as they can when you actually go buy it, and you can get them even more if you buy it on Bandcamp. So a couple other songs on here. Simon, Sober is a really good song. Sober was another fun song. The beat kind of takes me back to the mid 90s, and even just obviously this is a kind of a time frame where Curt is going back to dealing with talking about, you know, his past life and guys and so on who are, you know, come out of like a similar background. And so he's talking about being sober, and not just being sober as far as off drugs, but another kind of sober, being sober-minded, following after the Lord. So I'm going to play a little clip of that as well, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I'm just going to send you off to Bandcamp to buy the album if you want the rest of it. But here is a little clip from Sober, The Apologist, Curt Kennedy, The Drawing Board. Check it out. Maybe. There we go.
What up, kid? I know it is rough doing your bid. When the cops came, if you'd have slid to my crib, you know what I would've did, or rather would've said, this isn't how you should live, keep going or you'll be dead. But we passed that, like we still hitting them blunts and using hashtags to hide behind what we really want. It's kinda wild, but it's not spin. We both are behind bars, but you were locked up, and me, I'm trying to stay locked in. The hawk took spit these days, it is not grim, and you won't hear me rap about things that are not him. Directly on spot. Your mom said you are sleeping, but you sound tired. I know you out soon, and it's hard to get high in the streets to give your old job back if that's desired. Nah, not this time, no war is peace. By the way, I told your moms I got you on your release. As you know now, some things have ceased. I went from singing these marks in the street to reading Mark of the Beast. And Mark, he off drugs, got a wife and some kids now. He went from Mark Man to reading Mark with his kids. Wow, I'm trying to say it ain't over, and I don't mean drugs when I'm saying stay sober. Even though it's still a crapshoot, if fans pull you over, the odds are ever in your favor with Jehovah. I heard you're sober, I'm really glad you're sober, but there's another sober. Hey, yeah. I heard you're really sober, hey, and you know it's never over, hey, but your mind must be sober in him, hey.
All right, so there we go. That is Sober. Curt Kennedy and The Apologist off of the Drawing Board album, available wherever you get your music from, Amazon. Again, my recommendation is Bandcamp, simply because I think artists get more return on their investment when you go to Bandcamp than they do on any of these other places where you get it. And then Bandcamp, you can leave a tip. You can pay a little extra. And I encourage you to do that. And you go to a restaurant and you get a great meal and you get really good service, you leave a tip. We should be doing that for our brothers who are making really good, God-glorifying, solid, theological Christian hip-hop. And bless them in a way that we can, if we can. Again, I'm not asking you to go above and beyond your budget and and break yourself, but give generously if you can. Give to your church first, give to your but forego a couple of cups of coffee from wherever it is you get your coffee. I hope you're not getting coffee at Starbucks, because it's horrible coffee. It's just bad. Good coffee doesn't have to be bitter. I don't have to be bitter, but I am. So give up a couple cups of coffee to spend $12 on an album at Bandcamp, so our brothers who are making really good lyrical theology can be blessed and continue to do what it is that we want them to do, to give us good Christian entertainment with a solid theological background. So there you have it, guys. The Drawing Board, The Apologist and Curt Kennedy. Go pick it up. Support our brothers. And as always, preach the gospel at all times. Use words. They're necessary. And until next time, Soli Deo Gloria.